This is the Bonus Section Podcast, episode number 79. Motivation won't find you. Are you the type of person that knows you were meant for something greater in this lifetime? And that somewhere inside of you, there's just this bigger version of yourself trying to break through. But in spite of all your self-development attempts, you just can't seem to find the way up there. Well, then, hey, you are definitely in the right place. I'm Danny Griffin, the founder of the Bonus Section and the host of this podcast, and a person just like you trying to learn how to live the most fulfilling life possible. Now, to help you take immediate action to get started in the right direction or a better direction towards your goals, we take all the notes from each episode, and for a short period of time, we leave them hanging out there at freethinkingtools.com. freethinkingtools.com. Why that name? Because I want you to think for yourself and grow. All right, motivation will not find you. The first point here is that you have to stop waiting for motivation to suddenly find you. Right? Because as you sit around and you start thinking about motivation, you wonder why somebody else has it. And then maybe you go online and you listen to motivational videos, and you might find me motivational, inspiring, whatever it might be. But the truth is, if you're looking for it to somehow become contagious, in other words, find you, that's what this podcast is about. Will it find you? What if it doesn't? Doesn't that seem so harrowing and so scary? What if motivation never finds you? You say to yourself. Well, what do you think that triggers in your brain? It triggers a depressed feeling. I'm just not a motivated person. You start to make these cognitive, distorted, big statements like that. You exaggerate. You over-exaggerate. Well, I've never really been motivated. I've never really felt motivated. I mean, I have a brother, a sister, a cousin, a friend. They always seem so motivated. They wake up every day and they're motivated. They were just born that way. See, that's what sets you up for failure, is that misunderstanding that somehow this is a thing that is floating around. Well, it is floating around in the ether, but how it floats around matters. You just don't wait for it to come into you. I mean, I suppose you can find animalistic motivation. If the saber-toothed tiger jumps outside of the bushes and starts to chase you, that's motivation to survive. Sure, maybe that's motivation that's going to find you if you're somebody's food source. I get it. But let's really shift gears here. I believe that motivation is best when it's built by you for you, right? I really believe that. I believe that's a thing that you can do. And I'll tell you that in my experience, in my personal experience, and a lot of people ask me, oh, you're such a motivated person, how? Well, I'm not always motivated. I mean, there are plenty of days where I just don't have it per se. And I have to lower my sails and ride with the proverbial waves of life that seem to be crashing into me headlong. But I no longer fight it. I mean, I used to fight that, and it would downright throw me into a funk for days, weeks, maybe months, or maybe I was really stuck and I couldn't make major decisions. I get it. I've been through all of this stuff. And I realized that when I built my own motivation internally, that's when it was the best. So let's talk about how. Let me get into this. I really would suggest that if you want to build motivation instead of waiting for it to find you, I would start by pursuing what you love. And I know that's a simple concept, but I'm just not going to come up off of it because I have just vast experience helping myself and people. And every one of us that appears to you to be motivated, I'm telling you, at some point in time, they became consciously aware, completely conscious, and they stopped being willfully blind. And they realized that they weren't doing something that they loved with the majority of their time. Now, again, I'm not saying quit your day job tomorrow. Maybe that's going to be a consideration. But I'm saying, are you doing anything with any part of your life, even if you start really small, where you're doing something that you love? See, we all have passions. I mean, look, I had a conversation with my son the other day, and we were talking about colleges, and I just simply asked him, what do you want? What do you want and why? Why do you like that? right? And again, sometimes we won't admit what we love because that seems like such a big word to us. But do you enjoy? Do you like? And there are things that you enjoy and that you like that you think about all the time. And when nobody's looking, that's what you're pursuing on your phone. I'm not talking about the brain numbing stuff we do on our phone that we all are fallen, addicts to, just killing time. But I'm saying when you're curious, when curiosity has you and you want to spend past time, thinking a little bit more academically and emotionally, and you go and you start to learn about something or you read something, listen, read, whatever it is, there's some subject, there's some pastime that you love. It might even be sports. You might love to watch sports on TV or go to events. That's something that you love. And so think about this. Do you feel motivated when you're trying to go pursue that thing that you love? Is that maybe what you're ignoring? That is motivation? Yeah, but I don't make my living that way, right? Or yeah, but that's only part of the time. Yes, but that's not the point. The point is just trying to identify how motivation actually works. And then the question is, could you grow it? Because if you have more time, see, what you focus on expands like a balloon. Right? So if you start off with a little bit of time, by the way, if you're not doing spending any of your time doing something that you at least enjoy and like and might even be in love with, well, then start there. Start super small. That's it. Everybody's trying to do so much overnight. You're not going to conquer the world overnight, and you're not going to become motivated to do so overnight. You're going to win something small by taking a few minutes to do something that you like. And then that can grow into pursuing what you love. So just win these small moments, but be conscious of how you feel. You see, motivation is actually really psychosomatic, right? It's mind and body. There's something going on inside of us when we feel motivated, isn't there? Look, I am no scientist, and I'm not going to proclaim to be, but I can speak for myself that I know when I'm doing something I like, which is right now, this is a passion project for me. I love talking about what I refer to as the head stuff, and I love sharing that with you. It is my number one passion. And I can tell you that when I do this podcast, I do 3 of them, and when I do this one, something changes inside of me. I feel extremely different. I feel something's going on with a chemical drip. I feel positive. I feel motivated. I feel motivated to write this. I feel motivated to speak this. I feel motivated to upload this. I feel motivated because it is something that I am clear. I love this. I love helping people in the context where I have some level of expertise, and I love sharing that. And I love hearing their stories when they come back. So you see, I'm in pursuit of that thing. And in my business, so I'm in the real estate agent business where I help buyers and sellers. I also help a lot of agents in my coaching platform. And then I have 5 kids on top of that. And I love helping them, because they're young and they're all so different and they all are trying to sort this all out. So you see, I get to pursue that coaching through all of those venues. So the majority of my time is helping people through this coaching, and that's what I love. So it expands into most of what I do. Now, what happens is when you do that, you start to get rid of the stuff that's, detrimental to your psychosomatic self, right? You're no longer just sitting around drooling in front of a TV watching something that you don't necessarily love, or listening to music that's agitating you, or living in a place or having a job. You see, all of that comes with you not being conscious about the fact that you're not spending any time with something you love, and then figuring out how to expand the generality of that into the majority of your life. That's how you become efficient. That's how you become happier, because you're allowing that to grow, right? So the bonus section here today, this point, is that being consistent with pursuit of that thing that you first might enjoy a little bit, you kind of like and you start to really love. I mean, it's in there anyway, but I'm just saying being consistent with it. What's happening, I'm certain, because I've listened to enough scientists and bio-oriented folks in the medical world talk about neural connections and how they need to be exercised. And so as they're exercised, and by the way, I got an education on this one time when I wasn't pursuing what I loved, and I was miserable. And all of a sudden, these neural connections were starting to atrophy, right? And they weren't firing. And so all that positive chemical that was supposed to be shooting from one synapse to the next wasn't. So then what I found that was by being consistent with doing something I liked, I was creating new neural networks, new highways around those things that I had always dreamed it could be, but they weren't even highways that existed, right? So you talk about things that were atrophying. Why wouldn't they? If that was like, oh, I don't like this. This is brain numbing, right? So they're atrophying. And there's no chance for the positive chemicals to go across the neural network, the new highway. So as it atrophies, guess what happens? You feel pretty lousy. Now all of a sudden you need an antidepressant or worse, something else to stimulate it back to life unnaturally. That's what I learned. I learned that from myself. Because I was doing something that I didn't love or I didn't like, and it wasn't fulfilling, and it certainly wasn't creative. I wasn't free as a creative, and that's what I am. So you see, once I started doing things I liked, I was just consistent. I didn't try to conquer the world in a half hour. I didn't try to force anything. I just slowly but steadily did the things I liked, I enjoyed, and then I started to really become addicted to them. Because those neural networks were getting, so they were firing all the time. And next thing you know, you feel healthy. And now you want to feed that even more. So to stay busy and stay efficient and have energy because you're so motivated, you begin to eat right. You begin to sleep better. On and on and on it goes. See, you hear my voice? I get excited because that's what I'm telling you. Being consistent makes new neural connections, and that creates excitement. That leads to constant motivation. It's pretty simple, right? So let me go back and hit these bullet points. 1, motivation is not going to find you. If you're sitting around waiting for it to come, it's not going to come there, okay? So let's think about this. You have to stop waiting for it to suddenly find you. That's the first step, okay? Just stop. Become consciously aware it's not coming. I say that in the podcast at the end. I'll say it today. Nobody's coming for you, and motivation is not coming for you, right? And the greatest motivators aren't coming for you. Second point, it's because I believe motivation is built. It's built by you. It's built inside of you. So how do you do that? 3, you start with pursuing, and I'll make it small so you don't get overwhelmed by this, by something you enjoy, by something you like, and by something you love. There's your evolution. At least start with something you enjoy in a tiny space and time. 168 hours. Give yourself 5 minutes to do something you enjoy. And that will open up the bonus section, which is now start being consistent with that 5 minutes, right? That 10 minutes, because it's starting to make these new neural connections. And that's starting to create excitement. You start looking forward to that 10 minutes, which becomes 15, which becomes 20. The excitement starts going. And now you're motivated to finish what you're doing that's a little bit more painful because you can't leave that job yet. You can't change that venue yet. You can't get out of that relationship, whatever. But you're excited and you're motivated, all because of some small victory that was created internally. All right, let me summarize it this way. Too many people sit around waiting for motivation to find them. Or they go out and they seek a motivator to stimulate them into action. So they go and they do all these exciting things for a webinar, a seminar, and they expect all of a sudden they're filled up with it, only to find out that it didn't work like that. So when it doesn't arrive, they become depressed. And worse, they think something's wrong with them. This is hazardous. The truth is that it's just a simple misunderstanding that long-term motivation, the one we all want, right? The long-term motivation comes from the inside. And the best way to meet with motivation is to create it by doing what you love consistently so that you build positive neural networks that crave the high of achievement, enjoyment. That will ultimately transform you into a constantly motivated, goal-seeking person. You see, it just becomes an addiction that you finally have created from within, and it becomes reliable. All right, remember, you can take immediate action and get moving towards your goals, right? In a better direction or whatever you want, towards your goals. Because we take all the notes from each episode and we post them for a short period of time at freethinkingtools.com. We give you instant access. freethinkingtools.com. Why? Because I want you to think and take action, okay? Also, don't forget you can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen. And we also post all of our content on YouTube, so don't forget to subscribe to the bonus section. And I'm doing a whole bunch behind the scenes with websites and merch. Yeah, we do some merch for the bonus section. I got some cool logos and stuff because I want to inspire you to think for yourself. I want to inspire you to care about yourself. I want to inspire you to really push towards a better life and towards your goals. That's important to me because that's my goal in life, to help you find yours. All right. We'd also appreciate it, of course, if you would join our mission of becoming people for others. Please be a person for others by sharing our content with other people just like you so that they get the help that they need. I have nothing to gain in it other than helping people. So share it up. Remember this, though. I intimated it already, but I sign off the same way every time. Here we go. You ready? Nobody's coming for you. Nobody. So go get to work on a better plan for yourself and for your goals, and we will see you in the next episode to help you do just that. Thanks again.